In his 4 decades-long career, Manikda produced scores of iconic scenes. From Panchali, Sonar Kella to Nayak, each and every one of them oozes his cinematic brilliance. But the one that mesmerized me the most is probably the 15 minutes long opening scene of Charulata. An epitome of visual storytelling, the opening sequence is packed with details, establishing important points about the lead character, around which the rest of the drama unfolds. But Ray achieves all of this without a single line of dialogue. In those 15 minutes, he solely relies on his exceptional visual literacy. The camera follows Charu as she roams around the house, reading her favorite Bonkim Babu in one room and then playing the piano in another, only to be left bored of each activity because she is doing it for the nth time. Ultimately, she surrenders to boredom, which is captured so brilliantly by Ray that we too get the sense of sharing her loneliness. Another major takeaway from the sequence is when she is observing the passers-by on street through her opera glasses, quite similar to a bird trapped in cage admiring the world outside. Ray switches to a shot through the opera glasses, allowing us to peek into her mind and share her curiosity as well as her plight. This representation of female perspective on screen, a phenomena extremely rare in Indian cinema, is what made Ray stand leagues ahead from his contemporaries. At a time in Indian cinema when women were typecasted in two extremely polarizing images, the average Indian filmmaker seemed unaware that a woman can also lie somewhere in the between. This film, based on Tagore's Nostonir, is about Charu, a young wife of an affluent upper-class Bhadralok Bhupati who runs a newspaper criticizing the colonial government. Charu is an intelligent woman with keen interest in literature, but she spends her days all alone with her Bankim Chandra and domestic chores because Bhupati is so engrossed in his newspaper that he barely gets the time for her. Later in the film, Charu finds her long-sought literary companion in Bhupati's cousin Amol.
তাহলে তোমার কার লেখা ভালো লাগে?
বঙ্কিমবাবু।
বঙ্কিমবাবু।
But the companionship also kindles a forbidden desire within Charu, a feeling which isn't reciprocated by Amal, and he is instead overcome by guilt of betraying his brother. When Charu's feelings for Amal are laid bare to Bhupati, he is heartbroken. But instead of accusing her of infidelity, he is conscious of the factors that led his wife to this state. The film ends with Charu and Bhupati making an effort to reach out to each other. Charu is only one of the many women defying stereotypes in Ray's body of work. In his 1960 masterpiece Mahanagur, which might be the first feminist film of Indian cinema, the main character Arati hails from a conservative middle class family. But when their daily needs are not met by her husband's income alone, she ventures out to work as a door to door saleswoman at a time in India when working women were a rare bird. Her in-laws disapprove of this, her husband, though initially supportive, eventually turns insecure, and his insecurity only worsens after he loses his job, and Arati becomes the sole breadwinner of the family. Ray beautifully captures Arati's struggle in balancing the various aspects of her life, her family, their tradition, her individuality and career, all under the pressure of capitalism. Then there is Sarbujaya, from Ray's most recognized film Panchali, a village wife battered by poverty yet stoically bearing what fate throws at her. She only has to cast a sideways glance and you get a lifetime of suffering. But unlike Mother India and Mughal-e-Azam, nowhere in the portrayal of Sarbujaya is there a hint of heroism or self-pity. There is no sense of victimhood or glorification of her fortitude. National award-winning film critic Shoma Chatterjee writes that for Ray, it is not a question of representing either real or women of fantasy or women of literature. It is rather a question of filmic representation of women contributing to and constructing our understanding of what a woman is.
কিসে